Welcome to the Strategic Oracle, the transmission space where timing meets soul and wealth begins with the rhythm. Let's begin. Here we are. It is eclipse season once again, and this ecliptic pair starts off with the full moon on September 7th, and that happens at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Time, and the maximum point of that eclipse happens just a minute later, so it's a total eclipse. And so what happens in a total eclipse is that in this case, the sun and the moon are opposite each other because it's a full moon, and that's what happens. And when it's an eclipse, the earth is involved. And in this case, the earth is in the middle. So the earth is going to cast that shadow. It's in the afternoon here in North America, but for people that are in the western part of Australia or the eastern part of Africa are going to be able to see it. And it's one of the longer eclipses. I think they're saying it's the longest eclipse in a long time. It's a little over 5 hours. Obviously, we're not in that exact ecliptic, phase, but we're in that maximum duration for about an hour. So that's really interesting. And so that's the astronomy of it, right? So that's in the sky, that's when you can see it, that's who can see it, that's what's happening with the planets themselves. From an astrological perspective, so how it interacts with us is that eclipses always happen in pairs. Every once in a while they'll happen, there'll be a 3-pack, but in this case pairs, and they're every 6 months. They also move counterclockwise, and they have to do with the collective soul destiny and the collective soul karma. So they're big deals, right? And I adore eclipses because there's a revelation aspect to it, and then there's also a hidden aspect to it. So they both reveal and they obscure. And think about it. It makes sense that that would happen because the earth is shadowing, right? So either the earth or the moon is shadowing. So in this one, the earth is in between. And so we've got the sun on one end and the moon on the other, and we're right in between that, right? And so it's like, ooh, what is happening here? So, and why is it so impactful? Well, because it has to do with that collective soul destiny and the collective soul karma. And so in this case, they're pretty close together. They're only 3 degrees apart. So that nodal calculation is really involved. When we look at that, we have that southern node, or we have that karmic node in Virgo. This is where we have the ability to let go of those things that are making us feel like we're in service or we're in a servitude to it. So what could that be? That could be our mindset or our self-talk. It could be confusion or distraction. Virgo is very naggy. She wants everything to be perfect, and she literally is over controlling about that. Like, picture her taking your mind and like making you be like a marionette, and like, so there you're like a little puppet and she's the puppet master for you. So we have the ability to relieve that, to let that go, to get to just release it, to heal it. Because the other side of that is your intuition. It's your imagination. It's your ability to dream and to think and recognize things from a wisdom perspective. So there's a heart and soul element with that. And so in this full moon, there's beautiful support with it because we've got Jupiter involved with Mars. So we've got some really energizing activity to allow us to come together with people, to understand them or to repel them, right? Right, because Mars is involved. So there can be some agitation with that, some aggression with that, or there can be this massive drive and there can be this beautiful energy for it and just this tenacity. So yay, that. But we also have that magic triangle I keep talking about. And so we've got that sweet, beautiful support for us to awaken to ourselves, for the freedom to like break free of our shackles and how we feel like we're trapped. So there's all this wonderful support. And yet it's a full moon. So there's that opposition. And so the sun is saying, hey, you know me, we got this. I am in Virgo right now. We're going to get all this stuff done. We're going to do all these things. We're going to just keep going, right? The downside of that is you have too much to do. It's too distracting. You're too busy. Your ideas are like, in your mind, right? And then the moon is over there going, hey, babe, hi, I see you. I'm reflecting yourself back to you. Look at how busy you are. Wow. Isn't it a shame that you haven't taken any time for yourself and just let yourself breathe? Can we just take a minute? Can't we just be for a second? Ah, can you remember the sweetness of you? Can you fall in love with yourself? Oh, is there somebody that you haven't really reached out to in a while that you just know they're so delicious? You just love them. You would love to spend time with them. Is there anything that you can do to be really super supportive to yourself? That's what the moon is saying. But then there's the sun going, blah, 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 right? Because it's in Virgo. So we have the opportunity to make different choices, especially since Venus is involved at an exact degree. And it's something called a quincunx. And what that means is that there's 150 degrees. It's not an opposition, but it's almost one, right? Because it's only 30 degrees off of that. So that's where the moon is allowing you to really open up your stylish, flirty, fun, expressive, a little bit indulgent Leo Venus. And then the moon is saying, okay, I adore that. We've got this in a big way, and we can really feel into that. And the sun is going, yeah, but you know what? There are some things that need to change in the calendar. There's some things that want to be the connections that want to be made a little bit differently. There's some renegotiation to happen. Now, this isn't like a Mercury retrograde, but it is an adjustment. In their tweaks, they're fine tuning. It doesn't mean that they're minor doing, though. So you could think about it and what would it look like? Gee, I'm going to carve out some time for myself every single week. Wow, there's 4 connections that I haven't made that I really want to reach out to. There's something that, there's just something about this contract or this agreement I just did. I just really want to look at it again. What do all of these require? Time and focus. And then you've got Virgo going, blah, 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 right? So this is where you want to take a beat. You want to take a step away and you want to look at the big picture. You want to just take stock. Now, remember what I said in the forecast only a handful of days ago. You're going to feel this massive push. It's going to feel like, all these things. And you're going to be like, yeah, great. I got myself into stuff. How can I unwind that a little bit? Here's the moment of that unwinding. If you didn't take the moment the last week of August, you had the opportunity to. No harm, no foul if you didn't. But here we are now saying, is everything beautifully in alignment with you? Do you feel that great connection of you and that other, whether it's business or personal? Do you feel that your heart is involved? Because we've got Jupiter in Cancer. Everything is in the emotional realm right now for an entire year. So how do you feel about it? And it's an initiation of something new because we've got the cardinal signs of Cancer with Jupiter and Libra with Mars. And then we've got the mutable signs of Virgo and Pisces, meaning we want to change things. And we have only 1 or 2 fixed signs, but they're fixed. We've got Pluto in Aquarius, which is fixed. We've got Venus in Leo, which is fixed. So we have all the elements involved. We have all the phases of a season involved, and it's an eclipse. So we get to take the moment to say, it's the full moon, taking stock, celebrating these things, yay me, yay us, and then saying, yeah, there's these few things that I'm going to just make some adjustments. And I'm going to take the next 2 weeks to do it because the new moon is going to be in 2 weeks on the 21st, and the ecliptic pair really packed together. The other thing about this, I'm going to go into the Wayback Machine, not the huge Wayback Machine, just 6 months. Whoosh. Think about March. Think about March, guys. Remember March? March, we were in the 4th month of crap, nothing's going to happen. And so we were really steeped in it. And we were just getting really impatient about the fact that nothing was moving forward. And then we had Mercury retrograde, we had Venus retrograde, we were just coming out of the Mars retrograde. It was like, nah. So remember that. However, there were moments that you could plant seeds. There were things that were happening that were setting you up for this eclipse. And then this eclipse is setting us up for the next eclipse that's going to start on February 17th and finish on March 3rd. And those ones, I've been in those. They're very changing. Uranus is involved in that first part of the pack, and then we've got Jupiter involved in the second part. And Uranus is also involved in the second part. And it's only a few days before we have that exact conjunction hit with that Neptune and Saturn that I've been talking nonstop about for the last year. So big doings, right? So here's what we get to do in this time. We get to do two things. We get to take stock and we get to say, okay, what adjustments do we want to make? Great. Then on that new moon on the 21st, we get to set intentions again, and they're for 6 months. So on this full moon, we're going to ask for some revelation, what wants to reveal itself. And we're going to also ask for the revealing of the past and the future. We're not really going to ask for things to hide because that's not in our best interest. We're going to recognize that, hey, that's going to happen, but we're not going to ask for that. So this first part of this ecliptic pair in right now, in September, we've got this beautiful opening to yourself right now. And then you've got constriction on the new moon on the 21st. And so constriction, it's like, you can make the scrunchy face. You can be like, who wants that? Or you can say, ooh, wow, this is my ability to really define things, to hone in on them, to take my time to say, let's make sure that this is actually, think of like a bow and arrow as you're pulling that bow back. Let's make sure that it's headed in the right direction. So when I release it, it's going to land where I want it to land. But for right now, I'm going to remind you that we have lapis lazuli as the stone at the crystal of the month. It wants to come back in. We have willow for the flower essence. We have that beautiful satiating satisfaction. Again, there's a heart-centered word. And we have the squirrel. So the squirrel is gathering. So, but think about the squirrel, though. Oh my God, I didn't even realize this when I revealed that the squirrel was for September. Think about the squirrel goes and hides its nuts and acorns only to find them later. Yeah, this is the eclipse, right? Hello, squirrel. That's so beautiful that you came at this time. Thank you for giving us that even deeper resonance. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to go into ritual. And we're going to really let ourselves, again, if you're driving, keep your eyes open. But we're going to allow ourselves to just be for just a second. Remember, the moon was asking us to do that. I want you to have a little smile on your face. Just letting you take the time for you. Letting yourself just breathe. Just be in the moment. There's nothing for you to do right now. You're just going to listen to these words, and you're going to let them carry you. You can just let go right now. Just, the sun, the moon, all the planets, I've got you. You can just rest for just a heartbeat or 2 or 3. And as you're in this just moment of rest, you're going to just, I don't even know if I want it to be envisioning. You're going to sense your resources and reserves. What kind of energy do you have right now? Are you feeling completely enlivened and you're ready to take on the world? Are you feeling depleted and you want to rest? You want to take this time to gather? Or are you at someplace in the middle where you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm doing the things. I got some things I'm doing that I'm like, meh, I got some things I'm doing I feel really good about. Just take stock. And then what do you wish your reserves to be and your resources to be? Do you want some quiet time? Is it time for you to just take a beat? Then drop into that. Or could you use some uplifting? Could you use some support, some buoyancy, some opening of opportunity? or support. But it's that openness that you'd like. It's that ease, that connection, that getting to the next step. Not that we're doing anything right now. We're just recognizing it. And then through that last eclipse in March, it was about the total acceptance of you. Coming into the wholeness of who you are. The beauty in the ugly. The wonderfulness in the difficult. And the appreciation of the good. You are perfectly imperfect. And the heavens sing with the glory of you. The fact that you were brave enough to come here and allow your soul to be at the forefront and listening to the wisdom, but also the pain of your heart, to allow the healing to come in even when it's hard. To have such a self-awareness that you're willing to keep unwinding or unraveling that veil. Dropping in to that liking of yourself, that trusting of yourself to access you and the deepest parts of you. You are brilliant and you are loved beyond measure. If only you could see yourself the way that the heavens do. Breathe this in. And know that the opportunities await. And you are in exactly the right time, in the right place for these moments. And as you're asking for this revealing, ask for it to be kind and filled with grace. This doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy, and it doesn't have to be upsetting. It can be joyous. And let the lapis lazuli be a salve as you open up to the satisfying ways of these moments, these days, these weeks, these months. And with that sun and the moon and that karma and the destiny, let your reserves be filled. Let your mind be eased. Your heart be opened. And your will be activated. And whenever you're ready, if you've closed your eyes, you're going to start opening them. You're going to start wiggling your hands, your fingers, your toes, your ankles. You're going to start rolling your shoulders, rolling your head, rubbing your hands together. It's interesting. The signatures didn't want to reveal. They wanted to just stay. Maybe they just wanted to just stay. Stay quiet. So how beautiful is that? As you come back fully, taking a drink of water, refreshing yourself, replenishing yourself. If you want to take a note or two, take a moment to do that. And then gently come back into your day. Allow yourself to be still connected with you as you're fully grounded to the earth and open to the heavens. And of course, great gratitude for the sun and the moon and all of the stars and the earth herself, and for you. Happy eclipse, happy full moon, and happy soul tidings. You've been listening to the Strategic Oracle, where success isn't scaled from speed, but from soul. If this stirred something real, follow it. Apply for activation, enter the vault, or pause right here. Integration is leadership too. Because the truth is, you were never meant to chase the timing. You are meant to become it.